Now that you know the basics of Nmap, we can move on to advanced features. Many firewalls and routers block or drop ICMP ping packets. When you use Nmap to scan a system or a network, by default it sends out a ping to see if the host is up, and if it gets a response, it then sends the specified packets to scan the system. If the ping is blocked or dropped, Nmap gives up and says host is down. To get around firewalls and routers that block ping packets, we need to suppress Nmap's default behavior of sending out the initial ping. We can do this by using the -pn option. Like this, Nmap -p in uppercase N and the target. It will scan the target without sending an initial ping. Let's move on and talk about firewall and intrusion detection system evasion and spoofing. When you are scanning machines that are not yours, you often want to hide your real IP address, which is your identity. Obviously, every packet must contain your source IP address, otherwise responses from the target will not return back. A recommended solution to obfuscate your real IP address is to use decoys. -d option causes a decoy scan to be performed, which makes it appear to the remote host that the hosts you specify as decoys are scanning the target network too. And their intrusion detection system might report multiple port scans from unique IP addresses, but they won't know which IP was scanning them and which were innocent decoys. This is generally an effective technique for hiding your IP address. Let's scan the port 22 using decoys. So nmap -p22 -sv, I want a version scan as well, the IP address of the target, -d, and the decoys using a comma between them. The first decoy, the second decoy, and the last one. In this example, the target will be scanned from 4 different IP addresses, and it will be hard for it to identify which one is the real source of the scanning. I've used private IP addresses as decoys, but of course you can use public IP addresses as well. Note that the hosts you use as decoys should be up, or you might accidentally SymFlood your targets. Also, it will be pretty easy to determine which host is scanning if only one is actually up on the network. So the decoy hosts must be up. In the next example, I want to show you how to read the targets from a file. Passing a huge list of hosts is often awkward on the command line. Just imagine you have a list with 100 hosts you want to scan, and you want to avoid writing 100 IP addresses at the command line. You simply generate a list of hosts to scan and pass that file name to Nmap as an argument to the IL option. Let's create the list. vim hosts.txt 192 168.0.100, the default gateway, the public DNS server from Google, and vulnweb.com. Entries can be in any of the formats accepted by Nmap on the command line, so IP addresses, host names, networks, and so on. Each entry must be separated by 1 or more spaces, tabs, or new lines. So, I want to scan these 4 hosts. You can use Notepad or your preferred editor to create the text file. And nmap -p80, I want to scan only port 80, -i, l, and the name of the file, hosts.txt. And it scanned those 4 hosts and port 80. If you want to speed up the scan, you can disable reverse DNS, which is performed by default. You can use -n option. This is reverse DNS. It tried to translate the IP address into a domain name. So -n. And if you want to export the output into a file to further analyze it, you use -on option, like this. -on output.txt. The file will be created. The output was displayed both at the console and saved into the file. This is the scan output. At the end of this lecture, we'll discuss timing templates which are used to optimize and improve the quality and performance of the scan. These templates set the time interval Nmap waits for a response and the time between each packet sent by Nmap to the target. -t option is used to set a timing template, and there are 6 such templates. Each template has a name and a number. Better, let's take a look at the man page of Nmap. And I'm searching for -t, typing a /-t and enter. And n to find the next occurrence. And one more time n. Okay. These are the templates: paranoid or 0, sneaky or 1, polite or 2, normal or 3, aggressive, and insane, which is 5. These templates allow you to specify how aggressive you wish to be while leaving Nmap to pick the exact timing values. The first 2, paranoid and sneaky, are for intrusion detection system evasion, and Nmap will slow down the scan a lot. You'll have to wait a longer time if there are more hosts and ports to be scanned. T3 or normal is the default, and the last 2 will make Nmap scan the target extremely fast. That will probably be detected, and you'll sacrifice some accuracy for speed. If you want to see the exact time values for these templates, you should take a look at the man page of Nmap. You'll see a lot of details here. If you want to perform a fast scan, T4 is the recommended template in most cases. I'm exiting the man page by pressing on Q. Let's try such a fast scan on a target. Nmap -T4, and I'll also use the -A option, which enables operating system and version detection, script scanning, and traceroute. This is a really useful option. And the target. This scan will take a few tenths of seconds. Remember that if you press the Enter key while running, you see the progress. It's almost over. And it's over. We see the result of the scan. Okay, that's all. In the next lecture, we'll talk about Nmap Scripting Engine, or NSE.